Devon Larratt has a good vocabulary, and when you add up the facts that a person with a good vocabulary who also has decades of international travel and life experience and who also wants to make the video intentionally sound confusing, then it can really get confusing. So who exactly Devon Larratt was talking about in his recent 2-minute 45 seconds long video titled "You Said My Name"? Was it Sandris say this? Because 95% people are saying that it is Sandris from Latvia. Was it Gennady Kvikvinia? I saw that name too in the comment section. Or was it Ongarbayev? Because few people like me also like to believe that it could have been Ongarbayev as well. We are going to talk about the reasons why I think so, and we are going to talk about the possibilities where and when this match can happen. I'm going to watch this video at 1.25x speed from starting till the end, and hopefully we will try to come up with some logical, sensible statements, because Devon, if he decides, he can make really confusing videos, especially when it comes to upcoming super match announcements. Devon is really good at that. So let me hit the record button and we'll see. By the way, you will watch this video here, but if you still want to show some support, which you should, please click on the original video as well from the link in the description.
Roped in by obligations and pressures, a champion faced an up-and-comer and was destroyed.
So roped in by obligations and pressures, champion faced upcoming arm wrestler and got destroyed. Obligations and pressures, who is the champion? John Brezink was the champion. Up and coming arm wrestler Devon Larratt, 2008 Manchester. Maybe this is making some sense. If it isn't, Devon Larratt is going to just watch this video and he's going to really laugh at me that this is so dumb. This doesn't even make sense. But hopefully there is a small chance that what I'm going to say is going to make some sense. Let's try to break it down together. So upcoming arm wrestler Devon destroyed John Brezink 2008, and pressures and obligations. So not a happy person to compete there. John Brezink wasn't happy to compete at 2008 Arm Wars in Manchester. He, even till date, John Brezink doesn't like to talk about that match. He absolutely, maybe I can say hated. I have used this word in the past and people say that hate is a strong word. Maybe it is a language barrier because we here use hate word quite often. It doesn't have that intensity behind it. So clearly John didn't like the 2008 Arm Wars experience. Maybe this is what Devon is talking about here.
History repeats itself over and over, unless you study and understand what was missing.
History repeats itself. So maybe Devon is also going to be in a similar situation, and he is worried, or he's at least aware of the fact that history can repeat itself. A young champion is challenging Devon, and he can also beat Devon. He can also destroy Devon. But talking about studying and understanding what was missing. So Devon knows what to do to avoid that situation.
What traps there were.
Traps. There were traps for John Brezink? Maybe webbing, grip?
It's not about the money.
Not about money.
It,
It's confusing whether Devon is talking about the money involved in the 2008 match or whichever match he's talking about here, or he's talking about the future match, because promoters and also athletes don't really like to talk about money. Engin Terzi sometimes mentions the amount of money some arm wrestlers are asking in indirect ways, like twice the amount of money offered last time, or he tells us in riddles, but sometimes we can figure it out. Hopefully he's talking about the future event.
never can be. In this particular case, it's about what it is for every match. It's the fight, and it's about a promise, and it's about giving history the opportunity.
History, the opportunity, yes. So exactly what we were talking about earlier. It's about a promise. Who did Devon make some promise to? I think everyone talks to Devon, and everyone kind of expects a promise from Devon, because Neil Pickup was talking about having Sandres say this versus Devon Larratt on the left arm at Arm Wars next year. So maybe Devon promised Neil Pickup. In that case, it is actually Sandres said this, but on the left arm. Neil didn't say that he would like that match on the right arm. He thinks that Devon would be dominant, and I too agree with that. Against Sandres, I think Devon should win comfortably on the right, but on the left, I think Sandris can beat Devon. If Sandris says this is left is as good as his right, I think he would be able to beat Devon on the left arm. In 6 rounds, it will still be amazing because Devon can 100% make a comeback. So who exactly, we still do not know.
Repeat itself. And showing that I can rise above history.
Yeah, rise above history.
Against this young champion.
Not let the history repeat. Young champion.
Who I recognize from 14 years prior.
14 years prior. This is the most confusing part here and most clear part as well because it clears many doubts. First of all, young champion. People are saying Gennady is 36, 37. Yes, arm wrestling is an old man's sport, but even in this sport, Gennady is not young, man. He's not young. He has been in arm wrestling scene forever. I don't think he's young. From 14 years prior. Sandris Sedis has been arm wrestling for less than 8 years, I think. He's already at the top of WAF 110 kg category, but he's not a veteran in the sport. 14 years ago, there were no big high-level arm wrestlers from Latvia. Yanis Omolins, Norman Thompson. I don't know if he was there back then. Did Devon ever travel to Latvia back then? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. And meeting Sandris 14 years ago doesn't make sense. To me, this is a red flag that he's not talking about Sandris Sedis. Or maybe he is, but the chances seems to be low.
Your body of work.
And 14 years ago, about Ongarbayev as well. Ongarbayev is also 27, 28, exactly the same age as Sandris Sedis, but he has been competing since he was 10 years old. So he has been competing for 17 years. But again, he was not traveling internationally when he was 12, 13, or maybe he was. Or did Devon ever travel to Kazakhstan? Again, we're not sure. Maybe for some tours or anything. Really confusing till now.
Is very impressive.
Your body of work is really impressive. I don't even know what body of work means. That's confusing. But body of work, like work ethic, the way you... I don't think he's talking about like body, physical body. I don't know what that means.
I respect the WAF title.
The WAF title, that's more pointing towards Sandris Sedis once again because Sandris won 110 kg WAF title. The WAF title. Gennady has won more than one WAF title. He has won many. But Sandris has won one. He's talking about the WAF title. On the other hand, Ongarbayev also won his first WAF title at 110 kg, 100 kg weight cap in this event, the Antalya 2022 WAF in Turkey. But that was on the left arm. So Devon is not specifying here. If I were to guess from this, he's talking about Sandris Sedis. But Ongarbayev also won a WAF title on the left arm. But Sandris Sedis, his title was talked about more. So maybe he's talking about Sandris here.
Practice pulls, understanding the context.
Not even respect, practice pulls, understanding the context. That is a big thing, man. Practice pulls. Did Devon ever practice pull with Sandris? Maybe at East versus West. Some video, some footage that we were not shown. It is possible. It is possible that Devon and Sandris did some practice pull. And we are not aware of it. It was hidden just like the Prudnik versus... But that, we kind of got the teaser of that practice. We know nothing about this practice. Any other practice? One big practice pull, man. Ongarbayev versus Devon Larratt. I even made a video about it. I'll show you in the screenshot of that video. So Ongarbayev and Devon practice pulled in 2018, I think it was. Before Ongarbayev faced and defeated Alex Kodecha. So 2-3 days before that, Ongarbayev is crazy. He asked Devon to do some practice pulling, or maybe Devon asked him and he agreed. And it was on a gym bench. And Engin Terzi dug deep into this. Engin called Ongarbayev when Ongarbayev talked about this practice pull. And Ongarbayev told Engin that he was pinning Devon. He was pinning Devon in that practice pull. And maybe this is what Devon is talking about here.
I don't like what happened last match.
I don't like what happened last match. I've seen enough. Last match, this again points towards Sandris Sedis more because Sandris destroyed Matt Mask and Devon has said in the past as well that he did not like what he saw there. He did not like what he saw there. And what about Ongarbayev? Ongarbayev beat John Brzink. Of course, Devon wouldn't have liked that one as well. So, man, Sandris, Ongarbayev, confusing.
When you lose.
When you lose, okay, Devon is going to beat him.
Destroy you.
Devon will destroy Sandris or Ongarbayev.
You will experience a small death, not large,
Small death.
just a small piece of you I will take with me. A small piece of you I will keep.
He'll keep a small piece with him.
You're young.
Young. Gennady is not young.
On a regular day, one by one, the Europeans will fall.
So Devon talked about this match. Let me just close it down. So Devon mentioned that you said my name. Who said Devon's name? Sandres said this. Yes, he called out Monster Michael Todd, but before that he said Devon briefly. Then Engin slightly tried to push this match because maybe Engin wanted to have this match, and Sandris also responded. So yes, Sandris has talked about Devon. Ongarbayev has also talked about Devon because he called the match off against Irakli. He said he doesn't want to face Irakli. He wants to face Devon Larratt instead. So it is not on a video, but it is public information that Ongarbayev has called out Devon Larratt. Is he talking about Ongarbayev? Again, man, it is really confusing. If I were to take a guess, I would say Ongarbayev, not Sandris said this, because meeting Sandris 14 years ago, like watching Sandris, it just doesn't make, no, he didn't say meeting or watching, but just remembering him from 14 years ago doesn't make sense to me. So my guess is he's talking about Ongarbayev. This is not popular opinion. Please mention your thoughts in the comment section and like the video, please. New style, different style. I need some subscribers, 20,000 preferably before the end of this year. And old school labs, man. Do I have my supplements here? Yes, I do. Actually, I'm working out. Paulin is training me a little bit, and I think we can do something, at least get fit. So check out old school labs from the link in the description. They're awesome.